Alrighty, hello everybody, this is Kira's show here, and before I begin, I am aware that I have not posted anything yet today. I have been a bit busy. So, with that being said, I do hope you understand, and I'll at least be picking things up today. So, with that being said, let's begin. Whenever we last left off, he killed Stain. Along with that, Deku and Momo have been talking, and they also did get things a bit more sorted out with her power. She's able to use One for All at about 10%. So, I want to say around 20% canon, and if I have to be a bit more specific, 30% of All Might's power. Along with that, Deku has actually been thinking. He wants to move his mom out of the city. And since his mom does need a caretaker, because Mitsuki has been looking after her, he's thinking it would be a good idea to move her out of the city as well. And well, the Creed, they have actually somewhat agreed. Since a blind woman really isn't that much of a threat. So they would have signed off on this. And they are being moved today. And it's been roughly around a week since we last picked up on. And Deku is going through his training. The old man, however, he does still get tired sometimes. So he does at least guide them and start them on what to do. Certain moves and routines. Momo and Deku training together. This being because Momo wants to learn more about One for All, and well, the old man, he's the only one who would have the patience to do so. The other elders aren't as calm as him, and laid back in the assassin's traditions. This usually being because he is the one who will wait. Even if he dies, he will wait one day for that door to open, just to find out what's inside. Deku does still have questions about it, but that's not something he can get answered right now. So, Deku would do one simple thing. He would tell Momo that later tonight he plans on actually going out on a bit of a, vigilante work. He has talked to the Creed and they will let me resume my old ways. But I will be at least taking on some things, so do you want to come with me? Along with that, I do actually want to see my mom before they move her out of the city. And try talking with Mummy. Momo just agreeing, saying that she can try and at least help him bridge that gap. You just need to make an effort to reach out. Deku understanding, and them taking a different way to get there today. Instead of them taking a regular car or something, Momo actually did get a bit of help. People in the Creed are able to access government records and change certain things, so getting a fake ID isn't out of the realm of possibility. Along with her being able to make them as if they were perfect replicas of the real thing. And everything. So, with that, they would take the photos and get on a train, heading back for the city. Deku, he doesn't really have a lot, and him and Momo are just sitting down the train, talking more and more. People somewhat don't really care, but one man has taken attention to Deku, and is staring directly at him. Deku would have picked up on this, since he does feel tech on the man. He notices that there's a firearm due to the certain frequency it's on, along with an earpiece. He would just reach in his pocket and grab his phone, as he leans backwards and listens to music. His earpiece linking up with the man's, as he's listening on his conversation, saying that he has found the target, and not just that, he is traveling with, Momo Yaoyorozu. The man being a bit confused. whenever Deku does at least somewhat turn and stretch his arm. Deku getting a good look at the man, as he does so, popping his neck and doing everything he can. As he actually does grab his arm around Momo, and pull her close. The man somewhat stating that it appears that these two are together now. What would you like me to proceed, sir? Deku hearing the man on the other side of the line, saying that he would like him to assess the boy and see if he is properly ready. Deku hearing this, as they would be waiting. Eventually they come to their stop in Deku City. 2 hours later. This is a bullet train, so it moves very fast. Now, with that, as soon as they get off the train, they would be ready. Deku and Momo going up the stairs, and Deku immediately turning around and bringing his hand out, pointing it directly into the man's chest. The man a bit confused. Deku just stating that whatever he's doing and whyever he's following him, to stop. I am perfectly aware that you've been staring at me on the train the whole time, so I can use my quirk and blast you away right here, or you can tell me why. The man just looking at Deku, saying that it appears that the boy has passed already, and they haven't even started the test. As Deku pulls out the man's earpiece, and speaks into it. Exactly why are you following me? Are you with Abstergo? The person on the other line saying that they are not. Deku recognizing his voice, handing it over to Momo saying that it's her dad. Momo being a bit pissed off. Apparently the man was coming to check, or at least see where his daughter was, since she hasn't called him in quite a bit of time. Not just that, apparently he wanted to test Midoriya, because Momo did say that they were coming back into town. Apparently her dad probably thinks that he isn't fit to protect her. And now it's not just that. The man Momo's dad actually asking her about why she's dating her bodyguard. Her basically just doing one thing. Telling her dad to stay out of her business as she snaps the piece in half, creating a new one and handing it back to the man, saying that she's sorry about that, but her dad's a prick. Besides, just don't go digging into our business. The man a bit surprised. This isn't the same Yaoyorozu he was described. She's more offensive and defensive, plus her file said that she wasn't willing to use her quirk to make something that she didn't want to buy. Now, with that being said, Deku and her would head back to Deku's safe house and meet up with Mummy and his mom, actually talking with them. Deku basically seeing Mitsuki and asking her how she's doing, along with his mother. Mummy in the next room. Deku has basically been talking with him and explaining, other things. Talking with them and explaining other things. While he is also having a bit of fun with this. So sitting down and talking to his mother about all this craziness is, a lot better. In fact, this life feels somewhat normal to him. However, as soon as the conversation ends, it all seems to come back. Deku actually walking to the next room and talking with Mummy, or at least trying to reach out. Mummy not really saying anything, as he basically just packs a bag and is at least staring at his computer. Deku a bit confused, asking Mummy if he's going to go somewhere. Mummy not saying a word. Deku continuing to try and reach out. Until he does one thing. He pulls out the apple. Mummy turning around to see Deku holding it. A bit confused. As he moves past Deku, and Deku just asks him to grab onto this and see what he's seen. Mummy not believing him, immediately going to swat it out of his hand and yell at him. As soon as he touches the apple and goes to grab it out of Deku's hand, everything freezes and pauses. As the moment for Mummy, or Thomas, seems different.
Ah, I see another visitor. Not just that. You seem to be similar or, well, show genetic relation to, I believe, Toru. Hakakure, I believe, correct?
Who are you? And how do you know my niece? Let alone me. No one knows me. I've tried making sure of that.
Yes, you do. I can see it from your memories, and looking into you. You try and make an effort to stay off the grid. However, after meeting this young boy, you seem to at least try to form a father bond with him. Or a fatherly bond, as humans call it. You thought you succeeded, and you thought you could trust him. But you felt betrayed whenever he, allegedly, or you believe, he took your niece's life. Isn't that correct?
You don't know anything about me, let alone her. What are you gonna do? Besides, what is going on? Why isn't he moving? As Thomas just looks back at Deku. Deku's still standing there with his hand outstretched. Thomas a bit confused by everything, as the world changes around him.
Well, you see, this is the event. The one you want to see. I know Midori wants you to see it. He wanted to show you that it was an accident, and exactly how things happened. This is it, the place where she has gone.
Now, with that being said, it would be the temple. They are back there, and Thomas is watching this, confused. Watching as Deku takes the apple and exactly what happens. As soon as Deku got in front of Toru, he immediately was able to hack into the apple and at least get one of his hands free, causing the scar on his left hand. He did stab himself. But if he stabbed himself, then how did he... As things change, Toru immediately taking a gasp of fresh air, and time seemingly stopping. Thomas watching on, asking Juno exactly what this is. Is this a trick?
No, human. I'm simply showing you a memory. Something I do believe you will see. The events from what I saw. My view. You see, I can only simply watch and guide others. But that does not mean I cannot show them things they have not seen. I've been teaching that boy how to use the apple properly. He has been making sure well to get every piece of knowledge he needs to. Not letting your family's sacrifice be in vain. So, this is how things are. In fact, I do believe that if, well, she wasn't the one to betray us, these two may have actually gone together. And you would see quite simply a different outcome from what we have today.
Now, Thomas would be watching everything, seeing everything from Juno's point of view. Up to the point where these two keep laughing and actually are talking. At one point, Deku actually is, well, sad and crying. This is days worth of events, let alone possibly even weeks or years. How long do they spend in here? Can you answer me that, Juno?
I am not sure the exact time, but I can at least tell you they spend way too long. by the time all the events were said and done, things were already in motion. However, your niece stopped that motion. Sturgo, they have tried doing multiple things in the world that create imbalance and destruction. If your niece had not taken her own life, then she would have been part of that. And quite possibly the apple would have been back in Sturgo's hand. And things would have gone more wrong than they already are.
Now, as Juno says that, Thomas would watch as Deku gets off the ground, and he hands his left arm out to Toru, her taking it, and doing one thing as soon as they both stand up, grabbing onto his wrist and pulling out his hidden blade as she stabs it forwards into her chest. Watching as Deku, his expression goes from shock to horror, as you can see everything. Her fall to the ground and Deku basically dropped too. She was better off than him, seeing everything. As Juno lets go of control of the apple, and it turns off. Thomas basically holding the apple in his hand and Deku asking if he's ready to see something. I already saw it. What? Juno, correct? Yeah, that's her. Did she show you everything? Yes. Every detail. Especially that she didn't like lying. And that it... multiple plans, everything. As Thomas actually does have tears start streaming down his face, through his bandages. Deku seeing this, Thomas is stating that he will give himself time to process this. He won't let emotion get in the way of their plan. But, as he hands the apple back over, Deku just taking it, saying that if they're going to be doing vigilante work, then they do need to rebuild more things. Along with the fact that there is at least the parts to make more jump kits. Deku actually a bit happy about that. He already needed to increase them, but if he has Eden Tech, then he can try making new pieces. In fact, some things that he believes would make them a lot better. As they would continue. Deku actually taking the blueprints and bringing them out, along with more and more pieces. As Mitsuki and Inko would leave, heading out with assassins. As Deku, him and Momo get things ready. Deku wants to head to an old warehouse to see exactly where things have changed, or how things have changed in the city. Especially since All Might is back on Hero Patrol, it has been a bit harder on everyone in UA. And, well, in the city in general. The families, they are mad. Along with that, things have changed extremely. So, let us cut to around roughly 3 months later. Or not 3 months, an entire year. That's perfect, actually. In this entire time, Deku has been making a bit more of a name for himself, along with actually helping to locate pieces of Eden. They just need to go out and get them. They have actually gotten one more apple, and the assassins have at least been keeping safeguards on it, and tabs on it. Since Deku is capable of keeping them all, but he does want to stay in good leagues with them. Along with that, within this amount of time, Deku has gone from a rank 6 warrior to actually being given the title of rank 8, a veteran assassin. He got a personalized sword, and he's actually been given, well, more blades, daggers. While you have Toga, Tokoyami, and Momo actually being a bit more closer to Deku. Deku might be rank 8, but they have gotten at least to the point of rank 7, to be higher ups. Along with that, Momo has been getting a lot better with her control over One for All. And the assassins have been figuring things out, along with Deku's little team. They have been seen as properly trained, and actually disciplined. They took the leap of faith roughly 2 to 3 months after the events that I skipped over. And they were given the rank of initiate. Deku actually being able to get them jumped up to apprentice. Within one mission, taking down an Abstergo warehouse and killing a high-value Templar. So, they have all been changing. And they've all been getting along too. Ida and Ochako, these two some have been talking more. Along with that, Jiro, Todoroki, and Bakugo, they've all been thinking about this. The Brotherhood seems cool and all, but hey. Bakugo at least knows that his family will be safe. And the fact being that his mom, she seems to understand the world a little bit better. Realizing that Deku has a good point about all this. If they aren't safe with Abstergo alive, then they need to take Abstergo down. Bakugo being confused that she's siding with him. Until he does at least hear what happened to Inko, straight from Deku. With that being said, let's pick up today. Deku and Momo, they wake up in bed. And they get ready for their day. And actually go out to train. Deku actually training by doing one simple thing. In the last couple months, they've been told that they are going to be stopping physical training and actually be working on their quirks. Everyone getting vastly better at them. Deku's training consists of him using Earth technology and the Apples of Eden that they have. Along with that, using the Koni R inside of his body to see what he can do. And he basically has an entire room in this temple dedicated to his style. Today, everyone does walk in, and they greet Deku as his rank. Deku actually being ready, turning around and seeing his team. They are all really excited for today's mission. After All Might fell, and, well, the fight against All for One, and whatever happened at the forest training camp, the villains have somewhat been getting higher and higher in power. Along with that, you have word of the Yakuza. So, whatever is going on, it is going to be one of the hardest challenges that has ever been faced in the history of the League. They're usually the ones in the background. However, they're being forced into the front. Deku at least talking to his squad and saying that this isn't going to be simple. As everyone knows, Abstergo broadcast in my face yesterday morning, calling me out as the architect. So, there is no evidence to this, and well, I was able to stop the broadcast and keep my name out of it, along with part of my face. So, let's say we give Abstergo what they want. They want the world to see me. But I'll make sure that the world sees me properly this time. This will have no League or Brotherhood involvement. So, let's go catch us some Templars. and get things properly sorted out. Don't you guys think? As they all would bow in front of Deku. Deku and Momo just standing there, getting things ready. As Deku's eyes glow with power and he somewhat smirks. His skill has increased massively, along with Momo getting control over One for All. And, well, her physical abilities, training them to the point of, well, let's see. I want to say 40% of One for All. That is her version. So, roughly around, well, 100% of Canon All Might. Along with that, All Might has somewhat gotten a bit more press. He still does try and teach at UA, even though he is not the symbol of peace anymore. That job goes to Best Genist. Well, not Best Genist. He's dead. Or at least still recovering from his injury. That would go to the number 4 hero. I think that would be Hawk. I believe so. Because he was the number 2 after Endeavor. And Endeavor, he's in prison. For life. So. With that. Yeah. I do believe I could end that off here. Alright. With that being said, I'm going to be leaving this part off here, guys. I do hope you enjoyed the video. And have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.